Let's do this! Hello everybody, my name is Prince Zodiac and ouchie. Welcome, back to another episode of Black Myth Wukong, where we have got quite the violent starts. Get him, Pigsy. There we go. And boom! Good job. Alright. Where the hell are we? Oh, more of you. Come here. Come here. Time to die. Ow. You missed. There we go. Everyone taken care of. Oh, two more. Yes, yes. Die. Yat. Chop. 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 Cha.
Time was I guarded the Celestial River with my boys 80,000 strong, and the puny revenants dared to impede me. That grand transformation of mine was the only reason you're still standing here. A proper kneel to show gratitude would be appropriate, no? Fooled me once, never again. Deceptive tactics like this pose no threat. I'll go size them up first. Keep pace, boy.
Yes, sir. Pigsy, shouldn't you know by now that us getting separated only ever goes badly for you? Whatever. Alright, let's, I'll stick with that for now. There is something that gave me, like, fire immunity and stuff. Oh well. I'll search through my inventory later. Open sesame! Through the door. Hello, big boy. Yeah. Ow. Ow. Boom. There we go. Ended. And all of you taken out. Alright. Ooh, that's a very cool looking shrine. Alright, we're gonna rest. We're gonna take a look at craft because we have new things, it would seem. Upon schedule hit with charge heavy attack, each focus point costs slightly recovers health. The enemy is in poison state, massively enhances the recovery. Ooh, that's not bad. Less damage than what I do now, though, and I don't have the will for it, so I might leave that be for now. No, nothing new, nothing new. Right, well, I'm gonna stick with golden long stuff for now, just because that's great. New armor! Centipede Hat of Transcendence, and reduce the continuous damage received from poison state. Suffering from... I mean, I doubt I'm gonna hit much poison in a region of fire, but who knows, I might. Either way, though, good armor. Ooh, I don't have the will. Well, I will in a mo once I sell all this. armor. I still don't have enough oil. God damn it. I don't have enough. Well, these won't get me enough. Damn. I'm gonna have to, like, farm or something. They're to buy in this store anyways. Alright. I will have to farm for the rest of this later then. Yeah, I'll just grab it as we go. God, what else should we just... Alright, before we get properly started, let's look at some Yaoguai lore. Let's see, we got new guys right here. Alright. Revenant Stalwart. Endless toil, no rest in view. Joy of nature, never ours to pursue. Serving others, in vain we strive. Lamenting years, centuries alive. The stalwarts summoned from the underworld by the Keeper were the lowest-ranking soldiers back there. With their daily duties to maintain the flow of the underworld, being sent to the mortal realm was akin to the days of rest, a break from their relentless toil. One day, as they patrolled Flaming Mountains, 4 stalwarts shared their stories. One pointed to Furnace Valley and remarked, "This lava here makes me think of my task back underground. Those who committed arson in life are sentenced to embrace searing hot copper pillars naked in our copper depth. We had to fuel the fire and scrape off burnt flesh once and again. If we had a firefall like it here, it would surely make things easier." Another added, "True, and those who broke families in life go to our iron depth. We plant an edge of the blade tree into their back and hang them on the tree. Our endless days are spent sharpening the blades and trimming the trees. Sometimes the blade cuts through their flesh and they fall with wounds wide open. That's when we stitch them up, carry them from the ground, and hang them on the blade again. A giant iron ball like the one ahead would make the job much simpler." The third one chimed in, "You have it easy. Those who torture animals go to our bull depth. There, they are trampled and gored by lava bulls. We must tend to the bulls, fit them with iron hooves, and sharpen their horns. The crushed corpses must be dug out occasionally, lest they clog the path of the bulls. A flaming cart would be a much better solution." The last stalwart, gazing at the landscape of Flaming Mountain, exclaimed, "This place is better than any of our depths. Don't you see? This is the best depth with state-of-the-art torturing tools. I am now living in my dream." Hearing this, all his companions spat in disdain and left. Huh. Weird guys with weird lives and weird careers. Like, man, these torture... discussing the betterments of torture tools for sinners. That's an interesting one. Alright. Revenant Archer. He who brings tales of fault and blame is often caught in the very same game. Trust not the one who seems most fair, and in their goodness be aware. In the southern camp of the kingdom of Yuetuo, near the western side of the Flaming Mountains, a cook in the army was tasked with delivering food to the soldiers each and every day.
During his routine, he often noticed a shadowy figure trailing him, even. Not tailing him, although I guess it would work the same way. When his courage led him to confront it, he discovered it was a pottery figurine, armed with an arrowless bow, a truly peculiar sight. It is known that only the guilty are haunted. The cook, assured of his clear conscience, demanded, "Why do you always follow me?" The figurine, faceless yet speaking from within, replied, "In a past life, we were from the same town and served together in the army. I was wounded by an enemy arrow, and you abandoned me. I was left to succumb to infection and die. My resentment prevented me from reincarnation, and Yama, the king of the underworld, made me a revenant. I have come now for your life." Puzzled, the cook asked, "Then why not kill me?" The figurine raised its bow, replying, "This bow shoots only arrows of punishment. You've been reasonably upright in this life, so I find no arrow to strike you. My only choice now is to linger aimlessly." The cook asked if there was anything he could do to stop its wandering, but the figurine spat back, "It was your fault. You should atone, not help me. Your debt will clear once you've recited Buddha's name for me 10,000 times and kneeled to each. Then I may find peace." Enraged by such entitlement, the cook argued, "Your fall in enemy's hands wasn't my arrow. Your failure to evade wasn't my push. Leaving you was a choice, not a crime. Why blame me?" With that, he smashed the pottery figurine with his metal meal lid. Not metal lid, meal lid. Oh my god, allergies are just screw. I get distracted by my own allergies and then I read shit wrong. Ugh, god. The figurine shattered and turned to dust in the wind. Alas, even ghosts dread violence. Reflecting on one's actions is essential, and kindness is a virtue. But be aware of being exploited for your good heart, lest the accused become the accuser. Good lesson to take home. Lava Bowl Revenant. High and mighty, in the finest attire, yet a twist of fate from life to mire. The underworld trials are no mere lore, they know it all when they see your core. In the kingdom of pure joy, there was an official of high standing, a skeptic of spirits and deities. His path to power was paved with the lives of many. As age and illness beset him, he found himself bedridden. In a feverish sleep, he dreamt of two bull-headed guais emerging from blazing flames. Standing upright in armor, they declared they were to take him to the underworld for trial, and urged him to settle his affairs with the living. Startled awake, and realizing the gravity of his past wrongdoings, the official hastily told his family to gather monks and Taoists to perform rituals in the house. He dispelled his wealth through acts of charity, feeding the poor, donating to temples, and gilding Buddha statues. All the rituals and charity were done in the hope of sparing himself from the torments of the underworld. His deeds stirred the city. Praises for his generosity echoed in the streets. Then came another dream. The bull guais, with scroll in hand, came to claim his soul. He protested, "I've done much good recently. Surely it offsets my past wrongs." One guai explained, "True, you've done something good, but that was after how you falsely accused the righteous, how you betrayed your peers, how you extorted the peasants, and how you plundered for your wealth. For those, Yama still awaits your trial, and to the underworld you must go." The other guai sneered, "Good deeds are good, but evil deeds are still evil. Your end as a greedy official is sealed." With that, they shackled his soul with iron chains and dragged him into the flames. leading him towards the underworld. That very night, the official died in agony and fear, eyes bulging wide, losing control of his bowels. Yeah, it's, you do a life worth of shitty things, doing a couple good things at the end isn't going to really offset all the pain you caused. Especially if it's like, he's just donating randomly. He didn't try to make actual amends with the people he actually wronged, so yeah, makes sense that it does nothing. Guy got what he deserved. Alright. Ooh, we got the rest of the sisters here. Which, oh yeah, I did look into more of the story of Zhu Bajie, Pigsy, and the Spider Woman, which I will dictate what I found after this. Oh no, well, I guess I can summarize it now. So basically, again, I still don't really know the original myth, but apparently this whole thing of like the romance between the Violet Spider and Pigsy is... It may or may not be original to this game. I don't know. I saw some debate on whether or not it was original to this game, or if there was an interpretation of Journey to the West that included this in the past, or something. I don't know. I'm not fully familiar with it all, but I just know that there is debate on whether or not it is original to the story, and I did get more context. So, in the music video, at the beginning, we see Zhu Bajie, the man to become Pigsy. I don't remember if his original name is Zhu Bajie. Anyways, though, the heavenly official, or general or admiral, whichever, who eventually becomes Pigsy, he sees a moon goddess who I don't remember what her name was. Oh shit. I don't remember what her name was, but it's some moon goddess, and he follows her. He bumps into a woman who will eventually become the Violet Spider, but then he keeps following the moon goddess. Eventually, though, he stumbles upon the moon goddess having an affair with a man who is actually the Jade Emperor. I did not know that was the Jade Emperor, but basically, him stumbling into that affair is why he gets cast down from the Celestial Court. Because, like, yeah, he is a womanizer, but, like, that's not an uncommon thing in several mythos and stuff, and it's not... He may be, like, you know, criticized for it and stuff, but he wouldn't be fully cast down, I guess. The important thing is that he stumbled upon the affair with it being the Jade Emperor, and because of that, that's what gets him sent down to Earth, transformed into a pig Yaoguai, according to this legend. Along with that, he's also cursed to apparently live 1,000 lifetimes of failed love or something. I forget exactly what it is, but it's like 1,000 lifetimes of failed love, which is why his like relationship with the Violet Spider and her daughters is so strained, and how, despite it seeming like at first he doesn't want to be a part of it because like he curses the Violet Spider and stuff, and she has to like mind control to get him to stay, but then at the end he clearly shows kind of a sort of reserved affection for them all. The reason why is because he actually does love the Violet Spider, which was more prominently showed in the music video, but due to the curse / penance, whatever, of 1,000 lifetimes of unfulfilled love, he essentially doesn't want them to become subject to the curse, which is why he keeps his distance from them. Because I think the idea is not just that, like, those loves will go unfulfilled, but I think the idea is more specifically that those loves will end in tragedy, and which usual implication is that the person being loved is going to die or something. So in order to prevent that, that's why Pigsy purposely insults them and acts like he hates them and tries to push them away, despite the implications of the music video and that final cutscene that he does indeed love them, which I think is really interesting. And again, I don't fully know how canon that is to the story, because I did read somewhere that all of the tales in the journal stuff are retellings, or at least based off of things in Black Myth Wukong. But there's also clearly creative liberties specifically for this game, which I'm not surprised by, but because I just don't know the original lore, I don't know what is original to the original Journey to the West story and what is later reinterpretations and then what's even further divergences for this game. Because, like, Journey to the West is an old story, and over the course of, like, centuries, it's been adapted and readapted and reinterpreted and all sorts of things. So, again, I found conflicting sources on whether or not the whole romance between the Violet Spider and Zhu Bajie was an original part of the tale. I just know what is originally part of the tale is the fact that Sun Wukong and the gang with Tang Monk do come into conflict with all those spiders, and Pigsy does spare one of them for some reason. And the Violent Spider is the one that he spared, according to later interpretations, as well as what's dictated in this game. So, I don't know. I find it really interesting, and I think it adds a really interesting element of tragedy to Pigsy's life, because, like, even though the Journey to the West was completed, and they all presumably reached a kind of enlightenment, at least, it seems that Pigsy is still subject to his curse, and it hasn't completed, which I imagine the reason why is because Pigsy, knowing that he has the 1,000 lifetimes of love that will end in tragedy, he is... I mean, if the Violet Spider is anything to go by, he is keeping himself from falling in love or having a life of love to ensure that the people he loves don't become victims of those tragedies, which I think is actually really admirable. And I really like that Pigsy, the way he loves people enough that he won't let them become subject to a curse that afflicts him. And so he prostrates himself as this kind of asshole so that no one will essentially be at risk of falling to this curse, which I actually really like that. I think that, I mean, I was already loving Pigsy already just because he's fun. But adding that to his character in this, I think is really, really cool and adds way more layers to him than even I originally thought he had. So I think even if it is just original to this game, I think it is amazing characterization. All right, back to what we were doing. The sixth sister. In hidden groves a home appears. Laughter fills the path with flowers near. Girl chases the butterflies in flight as rumors fade like shooting stars in the night. In the webbed hollow, there were no children of the same age as the sixth sister. She usually spent her time with her elder sisters, who were all very nice to her. Only the fourth sister would strictly supervise her training. Sometimes, when she trained diligently, the fourth sister would take her to the mountaintop to gaze at the scenery outside and tell her stories about the world beyond the mountains. Although she enjoyed following her fourth sister, the fourth sister often went into the mountains to investigate secrets unknown to her. Claiming it was dangerous, she refused to take her along, which left the sixth sister feeling bored. One day, a flower viewing banquet was held in the mountains, and the lesser Yaoguais from Mount Wushan came to deliver gifts. As usual, after completing their tasks, they were invited to stay and drink. The elder sisters were busy entertaining guests and taking care of their mother, so the sixth sister wandered off on her own. The steward Guai, unable to refuse her, had to accompany her around the cave for a while. The two drunken pig Guai saw the sixth sister and pointed at her, saying, "Is that the one?" The other pig Guai replied, "Yes, that's the one." Feeling annoyed by their comments, the sixth sister retorted, "Why are you pig Guais pointing at me? Where are your manners? And what did you mean for this and that?" The steward Guai tried to signal the pig Guais to shut up, but they continued, "Little girl, let us tell you a secret that everyone knows but you." The steward Guai quickly tried to intervene, but the sixth sister earnestly said, "Go ahead." The two pig Guais laughed and said, "Your father is a pig, just like us. You are a relative of our old pig family." Contrary to their expectations, the little girl didn't burst into anger or throw a tantrum. Instead, she pouted and spoke with a dismissive tone, saying, "You must be attempting to establish a connection with me because you lack skill in your craft and seek to exploit me. The one my mother chose would never be someone as despicable as you." Hearing this, the pig Guais felt embarrassed and never dared to joke at her again. Yeah, that's right. Stand up for yourself, girl. She's got the attitude of her father in there. That's great. Doesn't take anyone's shit, just like Pixie. That's great. The fifth sister. Orioles are charming, swallows love to prey. Sisters close in bond, let them not be swayed by worldly fray. The fifth daughter of the Zhu family in the prime of her youth was renowned for her stunning beauty. One night, dark clouds obscured the moon, and a chilly wind swept over the ridge, signaling an impending storm. The fifth sister was accompanying her second sister in the village, overseeing the work of the lesser Yaoguais, when she spotted a traveling scholar seeking shelter from the rain. Feeling mischievous, she decided to play a trick on him. The scholar, being somewhat naive, was worried about his bookcase getting soaked and rushed into the deserted village without noticing the Yaoguais. He barely made it inside, bolted the door, and lit a lamp oil just as the rain began to pour heavily outside. Gazing at the rain through the window, the scholar was inspired to recite poetry. Zhu's land in turmoil, the court in disarray. Like thunderclaps in clear skies, they sway. A clap of thunder roared. The scholar thought he saw the window shake, but paid it no mind until he finished reciting. Blah, blah, blah. Feeling refreshed. I should practice my reciting abilities more. I keep stumbling. As he finished the line, he noticed the window lattice move again. Assuming it was the wind and rain, he hurriedly shut the window. After finishing his poem, feeling refreshed, he suddenly realized someone was knocking at the door. He caught a glimpse of a graceful silhouette on the door's paper screen, and a sense of alarm washed over him as he entertained the thought that it could be a Yaoguai. However, considering his own wretched and unremarkable existence, he somehow found solace in the idea of becoming a victim of beauty. As the scholar hurriedly got up and flung the door open, expecting to see the stunning Yaoguai, he was instead met with a horrifying sight. A ghost with disheveled hair and pus-filled eyes. Overwhelmed with terror, he let out a scream and instinctively pushed past her, desperate to escape the haunted house. Outside the door, the fifth daughter, playing with her delicate fingers, leaned gracefully against the wall, only to be knocked off balance. Angrily, she walked into the house, cursing the scholar for his rudeness, and happened to see an old bronze mirror on the desk. Picking it up, she found out that the storm had washed away her makeup, leaving her face a patchwork of colors, and with her wet hair covering it, she looked truly frightening. Even she couldn't help but laugh. Oh, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good, actually. It's like, Wow, that guy's such an asshole. How dare he? Oh, I look a fright. She starts laughing. Oh, that's great. Oh, I love that. Understand. She's like, how dare he insult my beauty? Oh, okay. I look like this because of the rain. Understandable reaction. The fourth sister. Sword raised in the azure sky, enemy blood stains the black robe high. Fortunate to be a maiden fair, outshining heroes with grace and flair. In the old days, the Scorpion Lord brought his 4 sons to the Temple of Yellow Flowers, seeking refuge. The 100-eyed Taoist master, coveting the power of his venom, promised to arrange marriages between the young spider Yaoguais and the Scorpion Princes. Hence, he called forth Violet Spider and the 4 of her daughters to meet them. Once everyone was seated, the Taoist master asked the princes to introduce themselves one by one. The eldest prince stood up, thumping his chest, and declared, "My skills were personally taught by my father. Among my brothers, I am the best bachelor. If all the sisters wish to marry me, don't let it cause any discord." Seeing the sisters frown, the second prince quickly stood up and interjected, "Sisters, please, forgive my brother's recklessness. Strong as he is, which I admit, I am no less capable. If you choose me as your husband, I will expand our domain and make it prosperous. Not preposterous. What? I am just misread central today. The Taoist master was displeased by the second person's ambition, and the sisters too remained non-committal, turning their gaze to the third scorpion son. Feeling the pressure of their stares, he reluctantly said, "My brothers are all skilled, and my younger brother is also exceptional. Sisters, please consider carefully before making a choice." The fourth prince, disdainful of his third brother's lack of confidence, said, "My third brother is a bit awkward in temperament. I hope you don't mind. Although I am younger, my future is promising. Choosing me is choosing the future." After hearing their self-introductions, the Taoist master asked the 4 daughters of the Zhu family to express their opinions one by one. The eldest sister spoke gently. "With many sisters to look after, and our mother's illness, I cannot lay down this burden and let my sisters suffer. My marriage can wait a few more years." Scorpions shook their head, expressing regret. The second sister laughed. What? Coquettishly. I have no idea what. I've never seen that word before in my life. What the? I'm just going to say coyly. Laughed coyly and said, "I'm busy managing the family business alone, with many financial gaps to fill. If any one of you are willing to help bridge these gaps, I might consider marriage." Scorpion Lord's mountain had long since fallen into ruin, with no wealth to speak of, so the second sister's words effectively ended the conversation. The third sister, holding a fan, said, "I wish to marry someone with whom I can live in harmony. I love the poetry of Luo Yin. Have any of you read his works?" It's likely that the 4 princes didn't even know what poetry was, let alone who Luo Yin was. Consequently, everyone pinned their hopes on the fourth sister. Sitting at the end, the fourth sister hummed softly out of boredom before speaking. "My sisters, you were too polite, speaking so tactfully that they probably didn't even understand. This so-called meeting is just a scheme against us. We would end up with no gain while they take our dowries and positions in our cave. How dare they consider us as the ones to be taken advantage of? They call themselves princes, yet none of them are noble. If they truly had any skills, why not earn their own fortunes instead of showing off and making fools of themselves here?" After the fourth sister's outburst, the conversation at the table shifted to criticizing her. Though apologies were exchanged, the topic of marriage was never brought up again. She immediately saw through all the bullshit. Called it like she saw it. Alright. The third sister. In seclusion for 100 springs, truth and falsehood the mountain brings. Rosy face turns into gray hair, love stories seldom end fair. The third daughter of the Zhou family, graceful in demeanor and gentle in nature, loved reading and writing. Observing that her younger sisters were still naive and her two elder sisters were extremely busy, she focused on needlework and became the best weaver in the family. The fabric shop, run by the second sister outside, used weaving patterns designed by the third sister. The weavers in the cave were also trained by her. Due to her gentle and kind-hearted nature, she often found it difficult to command the Yaoguais. Thus, the fifth sister became her best assistant. While the third sister taught with weaving patterns in hand, the fifth sister followed with a punishing ruler. If any weaver was particularly unruly, the straightforward fifth sister would report them to the second sister, who would then seal the offender in a cocoon to be used as food. Because the eldest and second sisters were often preoccupied with various affairs, the fifth sister had been following the third sister since childhood. The third sister was very quiet, so the fifth sister became her lively counterpart. The two sisters bickered and quarreled, but it made the days pass more easily. Among the books the third sister often read were those strange mortal anecdotes. She always found them fascinating and longed to experience those romantic scenes depicted. However, she was too wise to fall for any romantic scholar, knowing that most Yaoguais in those stories met tragic ends. Indeed. Very smart, very smart. The first sister. The path home is covered in green moss. Peach blossoms begin to bloom across. How tender and gentle her caring affection. Among sisters, a loving connection. The eldest sister of the Zhou family was gentle and serene, caring for her younger sisters like a mother. She meticulously managed every aspect of their daily lives. Even the straightforward second sister and the independent fourth sister behaved obediently and showed a touch of girlish charm in her presence. Each day she oversaw the cave's catering, everyone's clothing, and was go-to for disputes, illnesses, joys, and sorrows, keeping her busy from dawn till dusk. There was always a steady stream of courier lesser Yaoguais coming to her with messages. My lady, the second and fourth ladies are arguing. My lady, the fifth lady scolded a weaver, and now they need an extra hand. Can someone be sent? My lady, the sixth lady injured herself while practicing and asked for you to come and have a look. One day, the lady of the house, her mother, called her to her side. As soon as she stepped into the hut, the tranquil scene of her mother admiring the flowers under a tree caught her eyes. Her mother waved her over, saying, "The flowers in our abode are more beautiful than those in the upper realm." Meanwhile, outside the hut, the lesser Yaoguai in charge of catering was watching for her to decide the menu, and the steward, overseeing the cocoons, was waiting to report matters. The elder sister asked, "Mother, is there something you wish to instruct me on?" Her mother gently took her hand and said, "I just want you to accompany me in admiring these flowers," she said warmly, adding, "I worry they will wear you out." The eldest sister looked at her mother and was suddenly transported back to many years ago, when her mother had held her in her hand in the same way as they admired the peach blossoms together. The flowers were beautiful then, and so was her mother. Aw. Mom trying to give her a break. I do like that the love in this family is very genuine. It's not like forced or anything. The only kind of forced aspect would be Zhu Bajie, but even then, he does want to be a part of this family. He does want to be with the Violet Spider and his daughter. Like, the one look he gives his daughter, and he knows who she is, and you can see he wants to be with them, but because of that curse, he doesn't want them to suffer it, so he can't. I suppose that's also why most of the most of Chapter 4's focus was on the Spider family rather than the 100-eyed Taoist. He he almost seemed like an afterthought in some ways, but considering the whole story of Zhu Bajie and the spider, the violet spider, kind of makes sense now. So I guess that's why his boss fight was so much lesser, especially in comparison to Yellowbrow, who was truly the focus of Chapter 3. So it's cool, though. All right, the Dust Veil. Oh, that reminds me. That one guy who was in Purple Mountain who was asking for one of the eggs. Yeah, unfortunately, I did miss him. You have to complete his quest before you fight the Dusk Veil, otherwise he disappears. I don't know why I decided to fight the Dusk Veil first. Just wasn't thinking about it. Anyways, but yeah, he doesn't cure. He doesn't do anything major like cure the Dusk Veil or anything like that. It basically just starts a fight that unlocks a new transformation. I think it's just a spirit skill or something, or no, maybe it's a full-on transformation. I don't remember. Anyways, it's just gets you a transformation, but you know, now I've missed it, but you know what? Not a big deal. My beloved transformation is still the dragon dude. Yellow Long. Alright. The Dusk Veil. A brief song stirs the valiant heart. Long crows pierce the night apart. Leaping high, then falling low. Drifting like duckweed in the flow. He lay on the ground, still unsure of how he had been defeated. The previously unremarkable Taoist-robed insect Guai, whom he had previously dismissed as insignificant, now stood before him with a smirk on his face. Seeing the Guai holding a radiant golden hairpin, he suddenly understood. He wanted to ask a question, but found he couldn't speak. The pain was unbearable. It seemed that his throat was slit by the vile insect with the hairpin. He should be dying. He closed his eyes, not wanting his last sight to be that hideous face. Unexpectedly, someone turned him over and carefully applied decoration to his wound. He could breathe again, but this brought him no relief. The Guai clicked its tongue in amusement. The medicine master is truly remarkable. Sorry, I thought it was like, oh, the medicine master is the title. No, the medicine that master gave is truly remarkable. It has mended the severed part completely. What a pity to use it on this one. Agua. Ah. He opened his eyes and tried to ask a question, but the Guai stopped him. Don't rush. External medicine can't heal internal injuries. Besides, I don't intend to cure you. With that, the Guai waved its hands, and two fake Taoists in green robes carried over a jade box covered with brocade. Brocade. Yeah, I think brocade. The Guai took out a golden cocoon and said, "We mountain Guais are unworthy of this item. It is best to test it on you." Panic-stricken, he coughed up blood, which splattered onto the golden cocoon. The cocoon broke upon contact with the blood, and a worm with a human head and a golden body emerged, quickly squirmed into the grass, and disappeared. The Guai remained unperturbed and pulled out another golden cocoon from the jade box. Master was truly wise to have prepared 2 golden cocoons. He tried to struggle, but his body was tightly bound by cobweb. The Guai commanded, "Pour it down his throat." The fake Taoist brought several buckets of water and forced his head back, pouring some foul-smelling concoction into his mouth. He felt something go down his throat. After swallowing it, he felt as if he were floating on clouds, his mind becoming hazy. Apart from a lingering concern for his mother, he could hardly remember anything. He silently recited one last prayer, hoping that a glimmer of survival would be bestowed upon his mother. So this is another tale that I'm not sure if it's actually from like an original myth or if this is original to the game. Because the Dusk Veil used to be the Dawn Star, that giant glowing rooster. That's the Dawn Star, and he turned into the Dusk Veil because of the armor worm thing. So I don't know if that's original to the game or what, but Anyways, moving on. Water is good. 100-eyed Taoist master. Tending the furnace, stoking the flame, making pills to immortality aspire. Countless eyes and countless schemes, one misstep and shatter all dreams. Will this work? Violet Spider lowered her head, not daring to look directly at 100-eyed Taoist master. The master handed a needle to the old woman and said softly, "With what the monkey left behind and this vessel mine, you have nothing to worry about. If both fail, come to me, and I will back you up." He paused, as if a new thought had struck him, and added, "If I act first, you will never see that pig again." Hearing this, the old woman quickly took the needle, thanked him, and left. Once the door closed, an immortal with a red scalp and crane face came in, holding a fly whisk. He emerged from behind the screen, looking at the master imposingly. The master bowed respectfully and reported, "With that pig in our hands, the destined one alone will not cause any trouble." The crane immortal remained noncommittal and sighed. "Your little schemes are all under His Majesty's watchful eyes. He hasn't intervened out of respect for His Majesty." Oh no, for Her Majesty even. I was like, what? No. The master chuckled dryly and replied, "Her Majesty's words. They've taken too much profit. This time, our principle and interest must be taken back." The crane immortal flicked his fly whisk as if shooing away flies and said leisurely, "Once it's done, you leave, but they still have to stay." No expression could be seen on the master's face as he bowed deeply to the immortal. So, I'm guessing this is about the Destined One ripping away those seals and just causing chaos, which is what we did. And presumably, if the Destined One could be fully defeated, then the 100-eyed Taoist Master would be allowed to leave this, the Webbed Ridge, and go elsewhere. Huh. Interesting that this entire debacle... I mean, the beginning of the game, Sun Wukong got executed by the Heavenly Court, but, like, it seems more and more that all of that's happening is kind of just layup schemes by the Celestial Court, which we are slowly but surely overcoming in our journey to collect all the relics, which, speaking of which, I gotta activate that relic, but first of all, the final bit of Yaoguai lore. There has been a lot today. Lots of learning. Hong Yi. Tearful eyes reflect tearful eyes. Broken hearts echo broken cries. The world harbors the cold and sly, yet spares this soul in serpent's guise. The Jade Emperor sat on his throne in the Celestial Palace, gathering the officials. Hong Yi stood among the immortals and saw Tai Bai Jinsing leading an officer in. A crown of 5 peaks on his head, a landscape engraved tablet in his hand, he wore the light of the 7 stars on his robe and walked to the pleasant music of 8 jade rings dangling from his waist. Tai Bai Jinsing then announced, "Your Majesty, I have brought the son of Bodhisattva Pilan Po from the Purple Cloud Mountain as commanded." The Jade Emperor responded, "Let the celestial official come forward. I appoint you as the Dawn Star, ranking among the 28 constellations, and grant you residence in the Palace of Illumination. Remember to be diligent in your duties and conduct your patrols on time." The newly appointed Dawn Star thanked the Emperor for his grace. The Jade Emperor then ordered the Crane Immortal and the Supreme Inspector to escort him to his post, also bestowing upon him 2 bottles of imperial wine and 10 golden flowers. The immortals congratulated the Dawn Star, while Hong Yi stood quietly on the periphery, observing for a moment. She was slightly older than him, and having grown up together due to the deep connections and frequent interactions between their families, she had always seen him as a younger brother. Now, witnessing his moment of glory, she believed his future held limitless potential. After waiting a while longer, she watched him greet and bid farewell to others in front of the hall, his spirits high, yet he never glanced her way. With a quiet sigh, she turned and slowly walked out of the hall. Oh, I think she caught feelings for him. Alright. That's enough for Yaoguai lore for today. God, that was a lot. Now we have the golden glowing eye. Now we have yet another relic. Envious tongue. To embrace its potency, be prepared for its bitterness. Extend the duration of effects for all medicines. After consuming medicine, increase critical hit chance for the next attack. Mobilize affects all enemies around the target. Each equipped soak slightly increases the health recovery of the drink. Ooh. I kind of like that one. Huh, but that won't be very useful in boss fights, which is where I mostly use this. Increases the health recovery of the drink. You know, I'll leave it for now, and then I'll just think on it and decide eventually. So we've got 2 inanimate objects and 2 animals. Interesting. Wonder if there will be another animal for a relic. And then we have Duskvale's horn. Alright. And I don't think we can craft any new weapons, right? Yeah, no, nothing. We have this, but I don't have enough will for it. Nothing. Oh, yeah, and that doesn't have anything. All right. Goodness me, yeah. So much Yaoguai lore to read over. Honestly, I think that is actually where we're going to stop things for today. Got almost like a full hour, and I don't think I'd be able to reach the next shrine before my time would run up. So, yeah, I think I am going to have to pause this. Lots of education today. Lots of lore learnt and good ruminations on the story of Pigsy and his love, the Violet Spider, which, by the way, that music video, best one so far. Hands down. Just, that music video was incredible. I loved it. I adored it. First one was great. Second one was great. Third one was also great. Fourth one, though, top tier. Best one so far. If I had to rank them, Chapter 4's, Chapter 1's, I don't know. Chapter 2 and 3 are kind of tied. Mostly because, well, Chapter 3's has great animation, but I don't fully understand what it was going about in connection, at least, to the events of Chapter 3. Chapter 2's story more connected to Chapter 3, and I liked the conclusion it had, so... Yeah, I think Chapter 2's and then Chapter 3's, if we're going to be ranking them all, which, yeah, is very good. I like them a whole lot. Anyway, next time, we'll be continuing on, and, oh, you know what? Before I forget. Oh, God, I'm sneezing. Oh, my God. I think Fireproof Mantle is going to be a very useful vessel here. Significantly increases burn resistance and grants immunity to scorch damage from lava-covered terrain. Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be very useful for a scorched land covered in fire. And from the Yaoguai lore, there are going to be lava pits later, so yeah. It's going to be very useful. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me on the journey so far. Leave a like and a comment down below if you've enjoyed what you've seen here, and also consider subscribing if you do. Be sure to hit that notification bell. I would truly appreciate it. And hope to see you all next time. Peace out.